Paris, chérie, le beau Paris, c'est toujours toi que j'aime.
Hello and welcome to Paris Set Me Free Video Critiques, and today I'm going to look at 3 or 5 photographs from a lovely lady who came over to Paris for a tour with me called Janice from Arlington, Texas, and she just managed to squeeze in a week's worth of business as well. So good to see you here in Paris, Janice, and thanks a lot for sending me 5 of your pictures. This isn't Janice, but it's a wonderful picture that she took. Hang on. Here's Janice, there you are. I didn't actually take this picture. There she is by the Eiffel Tower. And this was the first picture I showed you, and what a fantastic picture it is. I can remember her taking it and wishing that I had the guts to just point the camera right in the face of this lady, little old lady doing her thing. Well, not so old. And I was wondering if she was just a local, kind of letting herself go, but apparently she was part of the musician's thing. And it was great, lovely to see her throwing all these moves and stuff, and Janice managed to capture this beautifully. You've got all the musicians, you've got a great position there, she's in full swing, or whatever it is she's doing, hand on hip, arm out there. She's slightly off to the left of the picture, so she's got space to look into, and in that space is one of the reasons she's doing it, and that's the suitcase, which is showing that they're selling some CDs probably and asking for money. In the background you've got someone who's thoroughly enjoying the show, looks like a passerby. Anything else notable about this? Kind of funny that you've got these rather young buttocks there. I don't know whether I'm going to say that they kind of get in the way of the shot or not. Theoretically they do, and yet in a way they don't, because they were in the street and that's what was in the street. So that's fantastic, really like it a lot, brilliant. What should we look at next? What about this one? Right, this one is a fantastic example of mixed lighting, don't you think? I mean, if you were sitting in this cafe, you wouldn't really be thinking, oh my goodness, it's really orange in here and it's really blue outside, would you? You wouldn't, because your eyes are much more sensitive to I was going to say more sensitive to light than the camera. That's true, but then again, not sensitive in terms of reproducing colours. I'm getting myself all mixed up here. What I mean is, if we looked at this would seem much more natural coloured, and the outside would seem much less blue and more grey. But the camera can't deal with these and really represents it in big sort of chunky colours. Outside, it's blue. Inside, it's orange. Why? Because, of course, the light sources are different. Outside it's being lit by what's left of the daylight, probably on a cloudy day or as the sun's gone down, but not in any sort of sunset way, more of a greyish cloudy way, and the way the camera sees that is by turning everything blue, which is why you've got settings on your camera called white balance, where you can tell it, okay, I know the camera is going to see this cloudy day as blue, or this shot I'm taking in the shadow as blue. I'm going to tell it that to make it less blue. Similar thing inside. Inside is normally lit by light bulbs, or maybe tungsten lighting it's called. In your white balance it's shown as a little light bulb, and the camera turns everything orange unless it's trying to compensate. And sometimes it does try and compensate, and what you wanted as a nice orangey, I was going to say smoky, but you're not allowed to anymore, interior, intimate evening interior, sometimes the camera gets too clever and turns it into a broad daylight shot, losing all the atmosphere. What's happened here is the camera seems to have gone for the middle route and has sure enough represented the outside as blue and inside as orange, which I like. All that blah blah to say, I really like it. I like these contrasts. That's what photography is for me. It's not representing reality. It's changing things. It's trying to get something which is a bit more artistic, and I love it. I love the orange and the blue. They're very complementary colours anyway. And there you go. So spent a lot of time talking about that, but nothing about the composition or anything. Possibly would have been nice to have a person in there, but then you'd have been pointing a camera in their face. Well, let's leave it at that. Very, very good example of mixed lighting conditions. Right, let's move over to something a bit more classic. Here we are. This is a great silhouette of a little statue here. Very, very nice. Nicely done. There's almost just two colours, aren't there? There's this nighttime looking bluish sky. Looks like the sun's gone down, but it's still bright enough to, when you point the camera at the sky, for it to completely shut down and give you just a silhouette of the tree, the dome, and of course the statue. Unless of course it wasn't, and it was giving you some detail in the statue and the tree, and you decided to use my favourite button, which is the plus and minus button, which most cameras have, or it's in the menus if you don't have that many buttons on your camera, where you can simply make it brighter or darker. So it may be that you had lighting, but you said, right, I'm going to make this a silhouette, so you maybe did -1 or -2 and got this gorgeous silhouette effect. And it certainly is very, very nice. Nicely composed as well. Got this about 1/3 in. The dome is nicely, I wouldn't have liked it so much if that dome had been chopped there, unless you were making the photograph literally the left hand side like this, but you didn't. So I like the fact that that dome with the big bobble there comes up, and there's the statue with the wings and everything. Very, very nice, and it's looking this way, and sure enough there's plenty of space for it to look into. Not complete space, because you've framed it on this side with this interestingly shaped tree. So I like that a lot. Very, very nice. Okay, let's move over to another shot. Now this one is an intriguing one. I really like this one. It's pretty clever, I reckon. When I looked at it, I thought, hang on a sec. I was struck by this photograph. I thought, hang on, it's the same guy. It can't be true. It's the same guy. Of course, it isn't. I don't think it is. It's just this guy was standing. Must have been. I can't remember me being there for this shot. But it's fantastic. They look almost the same. He's got the same crumpled-ish, greyish jacket. He's got the same shaved head. He hasn't got glasses. Here he has. He's got the same sort of crumpled jeans, greyish again looking. Maybe they're brownie. And they seem completely oblivious of each other, these two, although maybe this guy's looking down thinking, hang on a second, what's that guy doing there? He looks like me. And also, if you do zoom in slightly, let me just zoom in a bit. There's the guy. And there's the other guy. Very, very similar, very spooky that, with the girl. And on the back of this, you've got another couple with shades on. So there's a couple looking at this magazine with this couple here. This guy's got shades and this girl hasn't. This guy's got shades, this girl hasn't. So there's tons of interesting things going on there. And just to back off again, you're seeing another one that I'm not going to show you yet. Just backing off again, looking at the way that Janice has cropped it. She's made it very long, necessarily because of course this guy's long, and then starting where the top of this guy's head is the bottom of this guy's jacket. So probably quite wisely making it a long shot, emphasizing the length of two humans in a way, including the supersized human. And I wouldn't be surprised if on the right here was something which wasn't particularly interesting in terms of the photo. So I think that's a great shot. It's the sort of funny shot that I love to catch. And let's finish off Janice by looking at another one. The fifth one you sent me, you said that I have to choose 3. I'm not going to. I'm going to talk about all 5, albeit very briefly. This is lovely. It's a little statue, again almost silhouetted. The head is silhouetted, and also framed on both sides by the curtain, well, behind and on the right hand side by the curtain of water falling down here, and on the left hand side by this curtain, which echoes that one beautifully, but it goes down further than this one, and it also starts higher. It's absolutely gorgeous. You've left this in, which I think gives it a splash of colour which it needs. Don't know if you could have chopped that out. If you'd focused more on the statue, you'd have lost a bit of the atmosphere and of that beautiful curtaining effect. And it's even framed on the top by I suppose the bottom of the big basin. So fantastic. Thanks so much, Janice, for sending those in to me, and look forward to seeing you again in Paris soon.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.